Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are talking about a massive shift in how we think about design, and it's all being driven by the rise of humanoid robots. This isn't just about building fancier machines, it's about completely rewriting our relationship with technology as it literally steps off our screens and into our physical world. You know, when you see a video of a humanoid robot, what's the first thing you notice? It's almost always how it walks, right? Is it clumsy? Is it smooth? But as we're about to see, focusing on that is kind of missing the entire point. It's a distraction from the real revolution that's happening here. See, here's the real breakthrough, the thing that changes everything. A humanoid robot doesn't need us to redesign our world for it. It can use our stairs, open our doors, pick up our tools. It's the first truly general-purpose service platform because it adapts to our world, not the other way around. And that right there is a huge deal for designers. User experience, or UX, is breaking out of the glass rectangle of our phones and computers. It's moving into our homes, our offices, our actual lives. And this leap creates 4 massive new design challenges that we're going to break down right now. Okay, first up, challenge number 1, downloading roles, not apps. This really forces us to rethink what a piece of software even is when the device it's running on has a physical body and can walk around. Think about it. On your smartphone, you download an app for one specific job. A calculator, a map, a game. But with humanoids, we're not just going to download apps. We're going to be downloading entire roles. And these aren't just functions, they're whole personalities, complete with behaviors, attitudes, the whole shebang. Just imagine how this could play out in a single day. The very same robot could be a helpful, cheerful home assistant in the morning. Then, in the afternoon, it switches to become a patient, playful tutor for your kids. And then at night, it becomes a cold, watchful security guard. So you can probably see the problem here, right? This constant switching creates this really jarring experience for us, something you could call an identity gap. You're left wondering, wait, is this the same friendly robot that was just playing with my child? It's not just a change in what it's doing. It feels like a total change in your relationship with it. So how do you solve for that? Well, the design solution is all about making that switch super obvious. Designers have to create clear signals using every tool they have. Maybe it's a change in the color of its LED eyes, or its voice shifts from warm and friendly to formal and direct. It could even be a change in its physical posture. The robot has to clearly announce, okay, I'm in a new role now with a whole new attitude. And this idea of signaling leads us perfectly into our second big challenge, designing social awareness. This is where we move way beyond just clicking buttons and tapping on screens. Humanoids don't need touch screens. The new interface is, well, it's us. It's our voices, our gestures, the direction of our gaze. Interaction becomes about the timing of a conversation, about making eye contact, and all those other subtle ways we communicate without even thinking about it. And that raises a really fundamental question for designers. Can you actually program a robot to have social awareness? Or to put it more simply, can you design a robot that doesn't feel, socially awkward? Because we humans are experts at this stuff. We can tell in a split second when something's off. If a robot is looking in the wrong direction while we're talking to it, or it interrupts at the worst possible moment, or its response time just feels weird, we instantly get the feeling that it's not really listening. So this really shows you how the job of a designer is changing. It's not about making a button look nice anymore. It's about designing the attitude of listening. That means programming the robot's gaze to follow your finger when you point at something, or making it give little nods or sounds to show it's processing what you're saying. It's all about designing the behavior. All right, let's move on to challenge number 3. This one's about something that's totally new for digital design, and that's the rules of personal space. I mean, your phone stays in your pocket or on a table, but a humanoid walks around your house, it shares your physical space. So the new UX challenge isn't just about making sure it doesn't bump into furniture, it's about our emotional safety. How do you feel when a 200-pound machine walks up quietly behind you? The big idea here is that designers have to literally write down the unwritten rules of personal space, something called proxemics. They need to define exactly how close the robot should get for different situations. A much closer range when you're working together on a task, and a much farther one when it's just idle and waiting for a command. And it really all boils down to one incredibly simple but powerful principle. When a robot's movements are predictable and follow these social rules, we learn to trust it. But when its actions are sudden or unexpected, it creates anxiety. It creates fear. So designers are now in the business of crafting predictability. And all of this leads to our fourth and final challenge, and this one might just be the most complicated of all. Is this thing a tool, or is it a partner? Look, as the AI gets more and more advanced, we are absolutely going to start seeing these robots as more than just machines. We're going to form relationships with them. We can't help it. And that forces designers to wrestle with some really deep ethical questions. For example, what's supposed to happen if a person starts yelling at the robot or insulting it? Should it just take it? Should it object? Should it set a boundary? These aren't just technical problems. They are relationship design problems. And then there's the flip side. As these robots learn our habits, our preferences, our emotional states, where is the line? When does being helpful and intimate cross over into being manipulative or creating an unhealthy emotional attachment? Designers have to build in some serious guardrails here. One really clever solution is to design a hierarchy of personas. So the robot's default mode could be a warm, friendly helper, but in an emergency like a fire, it could instantly switch to a firm instructional guide. And if a user crosses an ethical line, it could activate a very strict guardrail persona that shuts down the inappropriate behavior. It gives the robot a clear playbook for these tricky social situations. So, okay, we've gone through these four massive challenges. What's the big takeaway from all this? In a nutshell, user experience is officially leaving the screen. The kinds of questions designers have to ask are just fundamentally different now. We're moving away from things like, where should we put this button on the screen, to questions like, what is the most respectful way for a robot to approach a person who's sitting down? It's a whole new world. And this means our entire definition of good design is changing too. The old question was, is this interface easy to use? The new question is, does this robot's behavior make people feel comfortable and emotionally safe in their own homes? At the end of the day, we are moving from designing features inside an app to designing the actual rules for how humans and intelligent machines are going to coexist. It's about writing the etiquette book for a future we're all going to share. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. And it's not just for designers, it's for all of us. Are we ready for a world where the biggest design challenge isn't the technology, but humanity itself? Because the age of designing for screens is ending, and the age of designing for coexistence has just begun.